Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Twisted Koi. How are we doing out there, cupcakes? And you, Gatwick Koi, yes. Down here at Gatwick Koi with the lesser spotted Ricardo, because Rick's picking up a couple of big girls. And, oh mate, there's some absolutely stunning fish in there. It's like a little Aladdin's cave, I tell you. Absolutely awesome. Some cracking fish. This system is running on a drum and showers by the looks of it. So let me spin you around. That'd make a difference. That would help, wouldn't it? So yeah, as you can see, running on a, I'm not sure if that's a combi drum or not, but it's running on the drum, sitting at 20 degrees. A cracking Shiro. Everything's got its own trickle in, trickle out by the looks of it. All your air pumps, bottom drains, fittings. We got some nice ones in there. Real nice hammer facility there. Some bruised carters. More pumps. Gary chatting with Rick. We've had a wicked chat. We got a few ghost tanky in there. Then we got filter media, rubbers, fittings that is. Get your minds out the gutters.
Want to see my weebles?
Oh no, you haven't got time.
Oh yes I am.
Oh mate, no. I thought they were little kahaku.
No, no.
No.
Oh, if you want kahaku like that, I should be able to sell you some of them now. I don't know, I've been asked for them over the years, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get a box, and I'm glad I did. I've sold some of them already.
Yeah.
Sue hates them.
I can't see the attraction.
I've seen them in Japan for years, and I've always thought, you know what, they're not as bad as everyone says.
They're like a swimming football.
Well, that's why we call them weebles. Do you remember the weebles, we wobble but they don't fall down?
Weebles wobble but they don't fall down.
I had to actually, again, we were having a chat earlier on about information and knowledge.
Yeah.
I had to ring Japan and I said, right, okay, what do I treat? What do I feed these with? He said, just treat them as koi, feed them koi pellets, put them through your usual quarantine, you can use it. And I was like, oh, this is great, it gives you another string to your bow. And they're actually growing on me. I really like them. I think if I had room for a tank at home and I didn't have two nasty cats, they're not very inquisitive cats, I'd have a tank at home with them in.
I don't know. They are like little swimming footballs, aren't they?
Well, I've even been tempted to buy a longfin. I've never bought longfin before.
I did notice one in there.
What, a longfin?
A longfin.
Oh no, I meant a longfin koi. I would get people asking for them.
No.
I really don't like them. I prefer to have a pond of them than I would longfins. I just don't like the look of them. It's not me being a traditional snob. I just don't like
they look ratty and tatty, don't they?
I prefer to have them, but as I've learned in the last 6 months, because it's not been the best winter, it's a business, and if we have to sell longfins, I don't only do Japanese, obviously.
Yeah.
These are Japanese. It's you've got to change. The times are changing, as they say.
Yeah.
Changing. But these are just think they're funny. The minute I opened them, I put them in the bowl in the quarantine suit. My wife was, oh, what have you done?
No.
Oh, sorry, there's the Donichi Yellow Monkey, because we sell a lot of them through the auction.
Right.
So we have to separate them and put them on the auction where they are in the shop, so everybody gets the right fish. So that was ideal to put
the fabled yellow monkeys.
They're great, they grow. They grow so quick. I had a guy buy some off me, 26 quid, sorry, 26.
Wish it was 26.
26 cm, and I think we got the first one to 53 in one season. So,
have you seen the Ginrin Karashigoi that Rex produced this last?
No, I haven't.
Get him to show you some pictures.
Yeah, I'll have a look at them.
Aragoki Gimrin as well.
Oh yeah, I like all that.
Yeah, got some really nice ones in my growing on tank.
I like fish that are different. I mean, most
Yeah,
of them are all Gosanki. Don't get me wrong, I like Gosanki, but if you look in every pond, I've got a range of everything in there. There's Ogans, there's Sagi,
Yep.
Sui, even the main pond.
Is that Ayawakaba in there as well?
Yeah. It took me 2 years to pronounce it right. Ayawakaba.
Yeah.
That's what I got. This is basically all the toast I've got left from last year.
Well, if it was payday, I'd have had a couple. But yeah, I know. I still can't see the attraction.
I want to learn more about them. I've seen one of my friends. He's got an aquatic shop up north somewhere, and he sold them all the time. And he's a Japanese koi dealer.
Yeah.
And he bought two or three really expensive ones. I mean, I won't say how much, it's unprofessional, but he spent more on each one of those than some maybe small koi dealers have ever spent even close to on a koi. I said, what the hell have you done? He said, Gary, they're like this. You can't even hold them in your hand. They're like they go all around the hand. He said, they're just lovely. And I said,
Rick,
do you think you're ever going to sell them?
Rick, come here. Come on, we want. We're talking about these things.
Talking about my weevils. Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down.
That's the one.
Yeah, so he said to me, he said, I like them, they're a great feature in the shop, but since I bought 3 of them, we've doubled the sales of our small stuff. So sometimes, you know, you do have to, you know, that's why I always try, but this year it's been quiet and I need to get out to Japan. I always buy some 80cm flush Jaguars, Ogans from Marusi, because you might sell them, and generally do. We haven't got a fish over 7cm in the stock at the moment, I don't think. No, that's a lie. I've got an 82cm Akamatsuya, sorry. But it sells the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
And the coincidence is I've got Jaguars everywhere I can't sell, and I haven't got a big one in the shop. And normally, you know, well, what's that? I said, this is one of these in 3 years' time. Boom,
Yeah.
sold, it's done.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, the jury's definitely out on that one. There's a yellow monkey in there if you want my Rick. In fact, I was telling Gary about
You come round here, there's about 30 yellow monkeys in here.
the Gimrin Karashikoi that you've been producing.
Oh, cheeky monkeys.
Yeah.
The ones that are sold in the auction wait to be picked up.
So these are all sold in here, are they?
Some and some. Some are either going through the auction, been through the auction, or waiting to be photographed. I've kind of got caught up. We've got about 80 fish that have got to be got out, so we know what's what. And before anyone says anything about the stocking level, it's 1,500 gallons, and it is very heavy stocking. It's got a drum, moving bed filter, 10,000 litres straight over that, side drain down there, 20,000 straight over there.
Yeah. So
You don't even have to test the water out, except the pH, because you've got soft water. You have
Yeah.
to be careful with that. That's why we've got a very slow, quickly trickle out.
Colour that's nice, isn't it? Is that the old golden corn
I
job?
think that's a golden corn, but you've got to be careful now because there's some Ginrin Karashis in here that are very similar. So now if someone wants a corn, I have to literally go on the website and check the photo.
Nice colour that one.
I've got one very similar to this one, something around in my pond that Susan had.
I'll pick through a good one for you.
You didn't pick it for me.
No, pick it for her. Yeah, that's quite a nice rich colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a corn, yeah. I put some of them on the Gatwick Koi auction. They went for £100. That's all I think that. One of them was unset. One went for 200 which was female.
Mad, isn't it?
Auctions
Can't buy
are
a paper
very
for that.
funny. No. That's the little gift. Can't sell that fish. I'll try it. It's not worth my marriage.
Yeah.
That's the one that kept going down the drain. She was fishing it out in the drum. Put
Yeah.
it in here. And then one day she noticed it was in here for 5 days in a row. She said, I think I've saved it. And it's just grown and grown a little bit every year. It's about 19 years old now. No, it's not really saying that. A little gift.
Is that King Kabuto or is that a ghosty?
Honestly, I
it won't be a ghost story, but I honestly can't remember. It's been here that long, I can't remember where it came from.
Yeah. I'm quite taken with that one. But I'm not buying.
Yeah.
I'm just collecting.
So
Definitely just
so we
collecting.
can give you a good
No, we
price on that
can't.
one.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So then, as we go down, you got Sakiakari, drum filter. So this drum filter though, the big pond.
All go straight over the shower.
Yeah.
Sorry about the wiring, the controller failed on me. I had to put a new one on. Just put it on an extension lead. I've got to wire it in later.
Can we have another wee? Yeah. I like having wees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is.
Wee bladder. One cup of coffee.
Right,
I'm
so
done.
the puppies.
So this is the front of the shop. We've got a treatment going in that pond at the moment, and as you saw, the drum and bio unit and the shower run this pond, and there is some stonking fish in there. Rick is picking up a couple of stonking fish. We will see them in a minute. Under treatment. But look at some of these showers, guys. Oh!
Turn it round, get rid of the condensation on the bag. This fish came in not October gone, the year before, so
Yeah.
I think it says at the Yonzai now. And everyone couldn't believe the price, because we have a lot of customers helping us, the price it was at. And none of this sumi has come out on it.
Yeah.
Rick asked about it, and I said the sumi's really come out and said, oh, could you do me a quick video? No brainer.
What do you think then, Rick?
That's the big one, isn't it?
This is not going down, it's because it's been out in the cold, the air slows down and the pressure drops a bit.
Right.
Nice, isn't it?
That seems to come up a treat.
Sumi's come up lovely, hasn't it?
Right on the shoulder, and
Yeah.
all in the white, and on the other side as well. I don't know why we
A
had
bit
that
down
from
here on,
without
on this
soldering.
end.
Don't know why that didn't sell.
Little
Sure.
Subo Sumi. That
they
is
say.
absolutely.
because the sumi was so down in your pictures.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You still video?
Yeah.
Good, because I want people to hear this. This is the thing. The problem is people don't understand unfinished fish. They all say that, and I don't like to mention customers, but it's a running joke. Who's our Geordie man? Rob Robson. He posts a fish 8 months later, and it's a joke. Whenever he posts a fish now, someone posts a black sharpie pond, because he looks at the fish. Okay, there was I think it was a Momotaro. I bought it and he had one bit of sumi out on the head, and I thought, even by my standards of gamble, and Rob said, no, we'll get the sumi out on that. And I think that one mature champion somewhere, I'm not sure, you'd have to ask Rob on that. But there's customers we know have got the art of looking for unfinished fish, and I'll be honest with you, it's no secret, that's the way I buy them at the auctions, because I know a certain market in the world want lots of sumi, and if they don't get that sumi, they're scared to buy. For us, it's no problem.
I love unfinished fish because I like to watch that progression and that change.
People don't understand. Someone says to me, why have you bought that shower from Dainichi? You know, it must have been a cheap fish. No, it wasn't actually. Well, why have you bought that? I said, it's Super Monster. He said, what do you mean it's Super Monster? Super Monster Bloodline. Soon it will definitely 100% come out.
Yeah.
6 months later, you get the fish out. That's not the same fish. You get the 2 photos. Well, Benny comes round there. Wow, I wouldn't know that. And I'm not saying it's an art and I'm a master, but what I'm saying is sometimes you have to accept what you know about the bloodlines.
Yeah.
Mona Lisa, Super Monster. I think there's a third one. I can't remember. That name just escapes me now. It's getting old. And it just doesn't worry me. Just like Tamora fish as well. Tamora are the most dramatically changed. There's a shower in here. If I showed you the original thing, you wouldn't believe it's the same fish. Same as Shirazuris.
Yeah.
Shirazuris, I'm not so sure. I need to be able to see some sort of pattern in the background and I'll take a chance on the Sumi. The Shirazuri's for me, it's only on the Sacco of Kawa. That's a lie, I've bought a couple from Dainichi, but they sold straight away, so I've never really got to grips with them. But I would imagine they're obviously shower with the bedding turned up for the day. Let's get the other one through, I think we'll be even more pleased with that.
Oh, there you go.
So, go on. Are you pleased?
Yeah, mate, see the photo of it before. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call, mate.
That's got some lovely fucking Sumi on it.
Yeah, well, this is the line we're going down. So this is for next year,
Next year.
really.
And what are you aiming to put with this one?
Probably Lee's Tucano.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. I couldn't afford the Sakai ones I wanted. So, yeah, these are much more.
That, without a doubt, is the most improved fish.
Oh.
Is the best fish.
Oh.
When you rung up about it, I knew straight away. I said, absolutely, cracking Sumi.
Oh, wow.
Both of these are from tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, if you see the pictures of them before.
Actually, I'll get the certs.
There you go.
There you go.
We've got some pictures, hopefully.
We've got some pictures, hopefully. Oh, Rick, that's stunning.
Cheers.
Yeah. I was Sumi's one after, isn't it? Sumi's
Yeah.
been on trouble with the Monotaro one.
Yep.
Tell me other dealers buy so much tomorrow, I'm like, yeah, with it.
Now that's a stack of certificates.
That's really, this is one of the best fish I've ever had. That, the customer took the, what tomorrow does, you get a certificate Nisai and Sanzai. He took the Nisai one and left the Sanzai down there. That's the one I was telling you about, that's in there, you wouldn't believe it if you saw that.
The original Kajaku line comes from Samora.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Sold on delivering that next week, we've got to keep that out.
That's right, a minute.
That's it, there you go. That's the fish you just
That's
saw.
the fish in the box now.
Now what you can talk, that's development.
Now,
Actually no, I'll say that one's in there.
Someone did it right there, didn't they?
look at the change. That's phenomenal transformation. Yeah, bet you're super happy with that, yeah.
Mate, that's how I brought it. And that's how I brought that one.
Oh wow, so there's practically a a tiny little bit on the shoulder.
Oh, wait, storm error, never do that. Never do that. Big brand.
No.
Go to the bag.
So yeah, look at the transformation.
You know what? I said that's the better fish. I'm not 100% sure, man.
I don't know.
I like the body on this.
I like the
It's
body on
good.
this.
It's not fat, but you can see it's getting the structure. I really like this. Do you know what? I'm torn between the two. I thought that was the most improved, and this is the better fish. I think I might have got that wrong. I think this is got a lot more Sumi country, but I really like that. And I'm so
Yeah,
surprised.
I really like this one, and I'm not a Sankey lover.
I think it's interesting when you talk about breeders. Obviously, you have fads. All the breeders are great. We use it, but every year you have your favourite. And I didn't buy much from tomorrow because I didn't go to Japan, and we just had so many fish from him, and we still have. I didn't want to buy any more this year. But last year, definitely my favourite breeder down in the south.
Yeah.
So many good fish for such a good price. But now you're seeing virtually everybody go. Everybody's sort of gone down the south. And I guess these prices demand will have to go up, which is a real shame. I can literally, for the amount of fish I buy down there, I could make jumping on a bullet train or a plane from the Gaza, go down there for 2 or 3 days and make the case for a £300 bullet train. I think it's £300 last time I went down there. But this year, up in the Garter, it's got to be Dainichi and his brother, Dainichi Toyota. The stuff we've been getting from the auctions, you know, and I think we get fair prices. We have to work hard. By the way, guys, don't bother going on the auction today. I was on there at 1 o'clock last night. There's nothing cheap left on there.
Because Gary's bought them all.
Yeah, you've got to pay at least double. No, No, I went on there last night because I like to put some minimum bids on, I like to put some other ones and some higher ones, and it gets to a point where I had a dealer moaning about prices and auctions and that, and he said, you don't seem too worried. I said, listen, we've been around 35 years, so have you. You've got to learn to pick your battles.
Yeah.
That literally is it. If a fish, you know, I've seen people paying so much for fish at crazy auctions in Japan, and I'm like, no, never going to sell that, never going to do it.
I've seen crazy, stupid fish going for crazy, stupid prices over here.
Well, some of the fish I've seen go through, I won't say what auction, last 3 weeks, I don't know how anyone could sell them. Unless they've got little rich clients, they've got lovely little small ponds, they don't care what they spend on a fish, they want a nice little fish to go on, because I can't see the business in that business, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's some amazing sumi development, isn't it?
And the funny thing is, we haven't got hard water here. Our pH comes out the tap about 5, and it drops very, very quickly. If you notice, all the drums, that drum, the back one we were out, the far end 2 ponds down, they're all on drums. They've all got trickle in, trickle out.
Yeah.
Because we, obviously the drum uses the water to clear, so that's to replace that. But these tanks are all on easy tops. We have to buffer them every 3 days because they're real fresh. So it's not that we've got hard. We might have a harder GH, which people might think it's more related to swimming with others.
Yeah.
But I'm too scared to check it in case it's too high. What food you on with it? What food you on? Boy food.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, whatever I've got the most of, I've got NC Labs probiotic, because that's, again, you can argue about food till the cows come out. NC Labs probiotic, I had a guy come in, when we just opened the shop and we were all playing mad over sake, and he said, this black box is a multi-season, I think it's better than Ikari sake. So I thought, oh, go on then, I've got it, it's sold, got it. The vet coming in, so why don't you buy a pallet, we'll give you this, and before we knew it, it was our biggest seller. Then, unfortunately, fortunately, we got all the Probites, which is another good feed.
Yes.
4 blokes died now, but it was
Yeah, in fact, you had a YouTuber here that is
that's right, yeah.
Lau Magro. Yeah. She loved Probites, so...
He was another one that he looked at what fatty acids, amino acids, he really went down to what the fish need and what was in there. And people say, well, that Probites isn't a cheap food. No, it's not. It's a good food. It's really good. Sake Hikari, JPD, Probites, NT Labs. That's all we feed in here. Because they're all good food. You don't get any waste. Sometimes people forget that when you change the food, sometimes it can upset a fish's digestion.
Yeah.
And you might get a bit few bloatedness. The good thing with Probites is all the waste sinks, so it's never in the water. So as long as you've got a bottom drain or a good pumping system.
Yeah.
So the Probites waste, so we can afford to stock here heavily. But we sold out Probites, we've got all of that. So at the moment, I think we are on JPD.
Have you ever fed Takazumi? And what are your thoughts on it?
You just reminded me, we run out of Probites. We are on Takazumi, 50-50. And again, I literally forgot we were on it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you. We're on Takazumi.
Is that the Takazumi mix?
Yes.
The 50-50 split of growth and colour?
I'm a big fan of that, and I know a lot of people say, oh, the sinking goes down the drain. If you use the right amount, it doesn't. And the big thing, and most people, all right, you've got your female fisheries that only want females in the pond, but 90% of ponds in this country have got males, and they go onto the sinking food much quicker.
I've found if I feed a mixture of floating and sinking at the same time, 90% of the pond will go straight to the sinking first before they go to the floating.
You've got 90% of males. David Edge, I don't know if you know David Edge, he's done very well at the show scene, trying to prove that you can win trophies with males, and his pond is 100% males. And he, for a long time, struggled finding the balance. And he's got, I mean, I can't even remember what he's done. He does the Probites colour for a little while, I think, not long. The Probites autumn, whether it's summer, spring or not, because he thinks that he believes that whitens the skin.
Yeah.
And he loves the sinking as well. So he always has a bit of sinking in, because some males are very boisterous in the some are very shy.
Yeah.
And when people say that you lose it down the bottom drain, first time I fed it, I had 4 go straight down to the bottom drain, tails up in the air, and they were doing like the bandango round the bottom zone, hoovering up all the. And there was no arguments, there was no fighting. And obviously, I am so overstocked because we bought too many fish last year. But we were starting to get a bump, a bruise, it would heal up. And I just thought, do you know what it is? So he said, I'll tell you what it is, look. And that fish, and it went up in that corner. Luckily, we didn't have that pipe work over there at the time. A 74 centimetre chagger was lifted out the water and promptly dumped it there. He sat there flapping about for a second or two and then back in the pond. And she said, that is why we're getting damaged. And the customer just said, why don't you just mix it in 30% with some sinking food? Never looked back. Well, you've been all round here. There's one damaged chagger out there.
Yep.
And I think that's the only damage, and that's healing. So, you know, there's 8 ponds here.
Yeah.
They don't, it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously, when you feed that floating food, then you get that surge. You don't get that when you're just sinking in it, because they just all sort of spread out. I do it all October, because in the day, when they all smash each other, slip ins and pain in the arse, isn't it?
Another interesting thing about feeding, I can't remember his name now, the judge who kept racehorses. Oh, I forgot his name. What was his name? Well, anyway, he told me he had a size 6 Sankey that got best size 6 in the national one year. And I said, but you've only got a couple of months coming out of winter to beef it up. How do you do it? He said, males, you have to feed them all through the winter. Otherwise, all you do in the spring is build up what they lost in the winter.
Yeah.
So you've got no improvement. With males, you've got to keep feeding them, and that's basically, I think, why some people are starting to go down the male route. You don't have to stop feeding in the winter, worrying about egg count. Some people who still stop feeding still get these pound fish. So the problem is the Japanese are aware of that now, and if you get a good male, you've got to pay for that.
Well, I won Best Deutsch at the National last year with a fish from him, and when we were bagging him up on the Friday, I put it in the net and he went, why the fuck are you taking that? And I ended up getting first in size and class and best in show with Best Deutsch with a fish that would have cost 40 quid.
Well, would have gone. I mean, I gave it to you.
Stop picking yourself up, Vince.
Yeah. But yeah, so it just goes to show that, you know, it doesn't have to be expensive, and that's
Let's pop these up. Just got them,
Get one car.
yeah, go and get your car around, Mush. But yeah, I was over the moon last year. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better, especially for a first time.
It's always nice when something happens like that.
Yeah.
We've had customers have big fish to shows and done really well. I think, or I might be speaking out of turn, but I know one lady bought a Dainichi fish off me at the auction, my auction, I think. Wasn't a lot of money. I mean, it really was not much more than you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I thought, it's nice, but I don't know why she's bought that. 6 months she took it to the Great British Show in Peterborough, and it got baby champion.
Oh, awesome.
And there was some controversy. Someone said, oh, it should have been this Sankey enough. And I thought, yeah, I know what that is. You paid a lot of money for that, and it's not it's not a pig. And that is one beautiful thing about koi. Yes, obviously, money does talk in this, and it is. It's not my fault, it's not dealers. It's supply and demand. If you've got something that's really, really good, people are going to pay money for it. You've obviously paid money for it.
Yeah.
But it is nice to hear the good luck story. Oh, I bought this one. I mean, I always remember the funniest story was, again, it's a long time ago, so I'm not quoting the exact dates. But a guy bought a shoe at Zuri from Koi Water Farm. I think it was £10, £20. Grew it on a little bit, the one baby champion. And then 5 years later, he went on and won grand champion at the South East Show.
Nice.
So I can't ever hear in a conversation that a £10 fish won the South East Show. I think that guy, I don't think he's Beach Koi anymore. He used to work at the farm as well. So there is, you know, you can get lucky, but the chances are very, very limited.
In the vat next to me, there was a beautiful Deutsch Sankey that was a good 65, 70 cm. And to be picked over the top of that, just for me, mate, I spent most of the morning in tears.
It's nice to hear good luck story.
But like I said to Rick, when he finally got to the showground, I said we've done it. you know. And he said, no, this is your win. But for me, it was our win because we'd done it together. He'd helped me bag them up, transport them.
It's interesting to say that because one of the guys I use in Japan, we used to call him the grey man, everyone knows who he is now. And he always says, it's not my job, that's your job. It's your job, you picked it, you come out to Japan, you take the glory and then you share it with your customer or your customer. He said, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
And there are I love it, I like my name up in lights. So don't get it
Mate, I like I said to him, this is our win, and he's like, no, you've kept it for how many months, and but
that's the best thing I ever done. Nobody's ever done this, and they can't say it because the facts are the facts. I won I think it was the best entry 4 times I won it, and I'm the first one to win it in 3 years in a row. Someone actually said, a dealer tried to justify it. He said, oh yeah, but that wasn't when it wasn't a big show. I said, mate, the Young Koi show was a big show from the day it opened his doors.
yeah,
Everyone with his bloody, anybody in the world who had a koi in Japan was taking it straight to that show because you had the chance of winning something with a 35 cm fish.
Yeah.
But unfortunately now, the ones that win Grand Champion down there are not cheap fish.
serious money.
And now because of that, a lot of the smaller fish. I mean, I've never seen such expensive toast set, but the quality is getting better, and the demand at the moment with the Asian market is on fire.
Yeah,
I mean, I used to remember someone said that 80% of the koi in Japan are shipped to Europe and maybe America. Or was it 70? I can't remember. But Europe was the strongest.
Yeah.
No way. It's all Asian.
mind you, Fitz's fish pond or whatever. He's clear. Yeah, he's been clearing up in Japan this year.
Yeah, he's got some awesome buying power, but some awesome stories.
Yeah.
And of course, he's teamed up with one of the best in the country, my old mate Tim. He's
Yeah.
doing a good job up there. I'm glad he ain't down in the south of England. I don't think I could cope with that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big market, isn't it? Now,
Yep.
It sort of blows my mind when Paladin or whatever were trying to ship fish to England. Why I don't get it, really.
Because I saw the prices. It was 60 quid, someone told me at the time, it was 60 quid to ship a box of fish from America to here. And at the time, the yen was at its low rate and it was costing us 300 plus the VAT to ship similar boxes. So straight away, if you're shipping one big fish in a box, it's 300 quid cheaper than this Japanese partnership before you've even bought the deal. And the American herding fish I was offering were very, very good prices. So it wasn't just the price, it was the shipping was literally a fraction. And of course our friends, Mr. and Mrs. McGirt were running it. So
They still run it?
No, they've retired, they're back in England.
Yep.
There's some more brew stock from our man Gary.
More brew stock from our man Gary.
You mentioned his wife. Just talking to another old boy, Julian. It does seem now that we are literally the last of the generation.
Last of the old guard.
I remember when I was doing the koi shows, it was young Gary. Oh, Gary, the new koi dealer on the block. I've got some news for you. I'm bloody 60 next week.
Yeah.
60 years old. I don't know where that's come from. We've seen them all come and go. You miss the people like Clearwater Koi, Pauling, what character, good friends of ours. Poor old John from Warsaw used to do all the koi shows, the international koi show. He's now sadly passed away. Tony Pitten's doing a good job at Clearwater Bar. His dad left us a few years ago. There's not many people around now when I started.
Mhm.
I think
Young guns like me.
Yeah,
I started as a kid.
You're the youngster of the block.
Yep.
You're the new young koi dealer.
Yeah. See, Mark, I still got some Mark's fish. She's still using some of them.
Yeah.
That's another sad loss.
Yeah, that was.
I still struggle with that.
When we carry on with what he was doing, I still got them all.
Yep.
We grown show with them.
We did.
In the Osprey, mate. And it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
I must come down.
life, isn't it?
I must come down actually. I did think of it twice, but I was so tired. I went to Weymouth last year, and 2 years before, and I passed the place and I thought, oh, I know you get shit tonight.
You've got to go nearly past us.
You'd have to come
in.
in.
Tired after partying all the week on the scooter. I was on the old best. Packed up to the rafters with tents and everything.
Yeah, Mark's still going, doing some good stuff.
Yep.
I've got some great memories of Mark.
It's with his mum.
It's a real shame that his family decided not to leave his Facebook anymore. Because the first year after Mark passed away, I just said, oh Christ, we haven't got the ice cream post. And she looked at me, she said, we don't have an ice cream post. And I said, what are you on about, the ice cream post? I remember it like yesterday. I was just getting on the plane to go to Japan, and a friend of mine, I think it was Rob, was working at Ornfish at the time, and he sent a message. He said, oh God, Yamasaki's just harvested the pond of Nisai, and that's the best shoe I've seen for a long time. I said, oh Rob, and I'm literally getting on the plane, up the steps I think, or down the runway to get on the plane. And he gave me the price. He said, I'm never going to sell it. I said, yeah, I'll buy it. He said, what? I said, I'm buying it. I got on the plane, banged it on Facebook, and it was all new Facebook at the time. And by the time I got to Japan, it was 45 likes, which was unheard of in them days for me. So anyway, we did it really well, and I did the Facebook thing really well. I think it got to about 50 likes. Anyway, the next day I went out with Mark, and he bought an ice cream. He did a video of himself walking up the mountain with an ice cream, and he doubled my posts in an hour. I just said to Mark, I said, that just sums up my business. You eating an ice cream is twice as interesting as the best Suri I've ever bought. And every year it come up, and he posted it before I did, or or vice versa. And I kind of miss that. I wish I'd kept that post and shared it myself.
I'm glad that the YouTube channel was left.
Yes, me too.
Because there is so much knowledge there.
I think Mark's mum probably recognised that in her teach.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we used Mark's fish twice now, haven't we, for fish?
Have you still got the Sako Kujaku? Did you end up with that?
I did, I've used it 3 times.
Mark struggled with it. He said all the pipe come out really dark.
They were quite dark, that's the red Kajaku. I don't think it's the pure Kajaku. I mean, it's something else in it.
I think it's got a bit of Kikikuru in there.
Yeah, which is...
Well, you can't argue about Sako's Kujaku now. They are the world's number one, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, we did the YouTube Community Choice with one, didn't we? And then we done last year.
The red Kajaku gets used a lot.
Because you use the red Kajaku with the Goshki for the YouTube Choice, and then for last year's growing show with a difference was the red Kajaku and Kinshoa, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Kinshoa I got from you, female, crossed that with a red Kajaku, mate, and that makes those Kajaku that go, yeah? That's from the Kinshoa female.
Kinshoa, that would have been Botanical, yeah.
And that crossed that red Kajaku, like the best Kajaku.
He's such a... well, funny enough, he's one of the ones I said, if we go to Sekaguchi, we go to him, he's around the Koi area, and he is such an underrated breeder. He does, he's just started breeding, and I've got one at home, it's on my video I did on fish coming the other day. Soci Clips, I can't say it. Metallic Igoramo, Soci-Kabai. Is it something like that? I don't know. But he breeds really nice Asabi. He's just started a couple of years ago doing Sarawak. He's just gone back to doing Showa, which when I first went there was his real trade. But when he started to go to Satoshi, his big thing was the jacket. And at the time I actually said to people, I think he's the best breeder of the jacket in the world. You know, he was really, really good. But I think he changed to a breeder in the garter. Sorry, my memory's really slipping away. Kaneko. And it made the Kajaku a little bit darker, which was the rage. I really didn't like it. I love that differential between the light of the skin and the colour, whether it be orange or yellow.
Yeah.
And it kind of blurred that definition. And people loved them, but it just didn't look for me. I wish he'd go back to what he really was doing. A real beautiful, strong yellow, clean heads, or a lover. But people don't realise that I've got quite a lot of fairies with Kajaku.
Yes, so's he.
You probably know. And people say, oh yeah, but they're only a 2-colour fish. Well, that's the first bit. Let's go on. You've got to have the lovely metallic lustre on the fins. You can get away with a bit of colour, but once you start getting in there, it destroys it. If you haven't got a clean head, it can destroy it.
Yep.
If the Matsubamon's not good, that can destroy it. And the worst thing with the jacket is really hard when you buy them, is the tail end of the belly. You really need that to be good, because if it's always bad, then it's always going to be bad. I've
Yeah.
never seen that come good. I remember someone said he bought this Kajaki, it was expensive, and he left it with Satoshi, and he had like kind of the metallic head. And Satoshi said, no, that'll go next year. And I said, will it bugger it? Why? He's having your bloody pants down there, mate. Anyway, a year later, I saw that Kajaki come out of the mud pond, completely cream and head like a yin and yang, completely cream, completely. Then I just said, what happened there? I said, that's it, just the development of the Kajaki. And then you've got to have a nice pattern, you've got to have lustre. With the Kajaki, it just goes on. It's such a complex fish that
Yeah.
people just overlook.
Well,
It's great.
you created the best 5 you've ever created last year with that grind show, didn't you?
They're the best 5 at the minute. I don't know what they'll do long term. That's the trouble there.
I think that's why people like myself are so surprised where Sacco suddenly, someone said, oh, I saw him on the farm 3 years ago. Yeah, well, we all saw the fish 3 years ago, 1 or 2. But suddenly he went, boom, we've got these 50 to 60 cm Kajakus, winning prizes every year, they're great waiting to see them. And you just think, Jesus, where did that go off? I think that was Japan for 2 years because of COVID, and then boom, it does come like maybe that time to get out.
Yeah.
We used some old school parrots as well, wasn't it?
I don't know, but a lot I learned.
I mean, some of the Kajaki, different stuff involved in them, isn't there? 'Cause we got parents from loads of different farms, and they all do different things. So yeah,
It's very interesting. I learned quite a bit from Mike when I went down to Mike on the ship. I was talking to Mike over the phone when he was out in Japan, and I said, oh, it's done each auction, I can't put my head around it. I said, some of the Benny looks like it's almost breaking up. And he said, sorry. I said, oh, sorry, I didn't story it. Mike offered me some showa from Omasaki. I said, I don't like the Benny. He said, like you said, it's old school, but I need bloodline. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, that's how it will affirm is the word I'm looking for. It will consolidate. It will consolidate. And fair play to Mike, it did. So that was about the time I was going back onto the Dainichi auctions, and I was looking at the articles and showing that had the similar sort of. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do that. Anyway, we had a bit of a problem in Japan. We couldn't get the flight. So these little Tosai come in about a month or 2 later. They were already 100. I was a little bit concerned. Needn't be at all. I come in, they were 100% done. I had a little bowl like that with about 2 boxes of them, and everyone said, who's the auction pictures again? He said, well, 3-4 months, totally different, is it? I said, that's because of what Mike told me about the old Dainichi, taking a bit of time.
Yeah.
Literally knitting together, not Kanoko, but it looks like, oh, that looks a bit
out there, yeah.
Yeah, not so good quality. It all comes good. That's why I'm such a big fan of these Dainichi auction pictures. Rarely. I had one in their loose colour, and someone said, how many Tosai did you buy from them? So that 500. I said, that isn't a bad odds then, is it?
No.
I said, I know most breeders are like work on them odds.
To be fair, the ones I'm using are pretty it's improved, and the red's so stabilised compared to other stuff. It's like good for us. So yeah, comes with a price tag there, don't they? Always do.
Well, I think if you're sensible at the auctions, and it's very easy to lose. Last year I did lose my head completely. It's a missile. You know what they say at? It was a Sanku. It had the most beautiful skin I've ever seen. There's someone, when I put it on the website, he said, I didn't know there was such a thing as a Kindai Sanku curry. I said, yeah, it's a nice way of putting it. Very bare minimal pattern. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what, I've done the wrong thing. And I really got the up because I was getting bid out right at the last minute. So every time I got bid out, I put another bid up, and it was virtually the most expensive fish I bought that year. And when it came in, I won't say the gentleman's name, he just looked at me and he went, oh, that was the right decision. I said, wait, the skin was electric. And by the time the customer picked it up, the senior was just started coming through. And I put it in the bowl, and he just laughed on the week. It's a good price, and it was the day I said, it's the dearest fish I bought this year. It went worth every penny, But that was one case I lost my head, and it went right. I've done it a couple of times and it's gone wrong, and now I don't. And really, I am Mr. Discipline. There's a few people I don't like, I know who they are. On the auction, sometimes they can have a little 10,000 yen bid extra just to wish them happy Christmas. Yeah. Sometimes I have to, so I want fish and you have to pay for it. But no, I do like the auction. This year Dainichi's been a little bit expensive. I sat through 3 days and I got 2 fish, which normally I'm on about 20 or 30. So that's why I stayed up at 1 o'clock last night and got as many
for the bids on the sort of reasonable fish that go for less money. And hopefully, but this morning I already got picked up at 20 of them, so that shows you how many bids on it.
Shit.
It's all the fun of the fair, as they say.
So yeah, I think I'm going to knock it on the head there while we continue chatting, and I'll pick you back up in a bit.
Later.
Well, while we're
side.
sat in traffic,
Darkness, you can't see.
yeah, we can hear you. That's good enough. So, let's talk Japan.
Oh, no, let's talk where we've just been.
No, we took we talk about where we've just been first. There was some cracking fish there.
What, Japan?
No, at Gary's.
Yes, we're going to pick up 2 Tamora Sankis from Gary.
Yep.
He's quarantined for us for future parents.
And they are, as you saw,
be on the
absolutely
video,
stunning. Yeah, absolutely stunning.
So they've been at his house about 6 months now. I've been meaning to pick them up for
Is
a while.
that, I was going to say, was that
Not all
Gary's quarantine procedure, or was that you just not managing to get there to get them?
Me not getting there. Yeah. They were quite happy to say, been through quarantine, and they just stayed there till now. So yeah, they're sand's only on side 65 and 70 centimetres or something.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely stunning.
Yeah, the Tamora Sankis are just consistently good. Anyone
Yeah.
that watches stuff coming from like Snadden or whatever, you see how good they are. So, and obviously they're from the south of Japan, which I couldn't. So,
You couldn't get to.
although I've been to Japan last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, not buying fish like that. Totally different game.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there was a couple there I liked.
Gary's, like I say, I've known him for donkey's years. Absolutely top bloke.
Yep.
His quarantine is some of the best in the country. You know, his ability, his heat ramping. You know, unfortunately, people associate him with having had KHV. The reason he's had it is because it's in his quarantine. That's where it's supposed to be. You know, he was
Yeah.
on and notified other people about an issue.
Yeah.
That went back to the breeders and everything, and it was all, yeah, jumped on as quick as possible. So, yeah, and he always does me proud. So he's got good contacts with Mike out in south of Japan. So certain fish, the best go Sankey quite often come from that way.
Yep.
So, yeah. So more than happy with those 2. We'll get them settled in. I've got more for next year.
It's because you got people trying to sneak in.
So yeah, that's why we get those fish from him. He's also got Sakai Company, Kahaku, Mariyama, Nakawa, Shiro and Kahaku still to get, still going through quarantine. So they're all brood stock for
I was
really
just
for
about to
next
say,
year.
is that new brood
It's-
stock?
Yeah, it's all new brood stock for next year. New lines to try. The amount of money we spent on brood stock over the last 30 years is staggering. I said, I don't know. It's
Mate, I've seen how much you spent over the last couple of years.
it's consistent. It's always, I don't know, people seem to have this impression that some of the fish we use aren't all that, or yeah, whatever. I know we use a lot of our own brood stock, second generation fish, and some of the brood stock are specifically from a bloodline, so they might not be the very best fish in terms of its quality, but its bloodline is second to none.
Yeah.
And to buy the best fish from that bloodline, it's just not.
It's not feasible.
It's just ridiculous amounts of money. When we're not doing, it's not like a main thing. To buy one Sankey from Sakai Fish Farm as a main parent, great. But when I can only use 10% of its eggs and only do a small portion of the farm, it doesn't. It's not cost of it. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, we continually playing and trying. But yeah, it's good. It's a good opener after being out in Japan doing some shopping for some little stuff.
Yeah.
And again, that's a long-term project. I'm buying
Was that the main aim of going to Japan for you? Was looking for something that you can potentially have as a parent?
No, because we're pretty much covered with parents. But Matt wanted me to go. I wanted to go. I wanted to see. It's a long time since I was last there, so to see this time of year, I could go to all the farms, see Tosai from 20 different fish farms, and see exactly where we are with what we're producing, and get an idea of costs and what we should be charging for our fish, how good they are, and yeah, just see where it's the same as going to shops, and I go to as many koi shops as I can just to see. It's not about competition, it's about what's available, what sort of qualities, prices. Yeah, I mean, I've been buying young fish off of Ryan and Ricky and whatever for a few years now, just to see how they do in our water, how they grow on. It's just learning all the time, even after 30 years. Learning.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. You got to keep going. And yeah, it's an amazing trip, and I think every 10 or 20 years I'll go out there, not specific to buy, but I will buy. You might as well do it while you're there.
Yeah.
Get the opportunity to get. I knew I wanted some little goshki if I was going to be there. Got the opportunity to go through a load of cano stuff. What an opportunity to be able to do that. Goromos or something else. I've never been able to get hold of good Goromo parents that work. So Sakazumi gave me the chance to pick through a load of his, buy a whole load that I can grow on and see what work in our water.
Yeah.
And use the best one to them as parents to then carry on that line, what we're doing. Yeah, it's
Some of those were Ginrin, weren't they?
Ginrin ones, and the main female we got was an Agata one, which, so I've got different farms to use to try and work out something that works out quality wise and look nice.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm not a Goromo lover, but if the Ginrin Goromos are anything like what I've looked at online, then I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, well, our long-term project's always, it's not just a variety. So you need, in the sales tank, you need a palette of colour. So I need purples and reds and browns and yellows, and so I need all sorts of stuff to make the pond, to make the best fish look good. You need all those different varieties
To reflect off each
they all
other.
just bounce off each other. Ginrin ones are quite rare, but we're going down such a path of not just doing Ginrin, but doing Aragoki, Deutz, as well as Wagoi, to give to each variety. We will have all the different variations. So you can come to us and buy a Kahaku, but you can buy a Deutz Kahaku, a Ginrin Kahaku, a normal Kahaku. It just gives so much more choice to the customer.
Yeah.
And ideally, our best Kahakus are all Wagoi, non-Ginrin, because that's just the best ones we have.
Yeah.
In terms of parents, people want variation, so we have to do variation. Yeah, that's kind of where we're going with it. So they have the option of, I've got Deutz, Ginrin, Goshki parents that I can cross with a normal Goshki, so I'll have all of those in Goshki. I can do that with all of those in Goromo, all of those in Kahaku, all of those in Sanki. We can do it with almost every variety now. In Ginrin, in Deutz, in Aragoki, whatever.
Yeah.
Not only does it make it just makes the shop more interesting for people.
Which is open by the way. The shop is now officially open 7 days a week.
As of today.
As of today. Sorry, back to you, Rick.
And everyone that turned up yesterday.
Everyone turned up yesterday.
Yeah. That was a good day in the shop yesterday. I haven't worked in the shop for ages. And I had people in there. I was just dealing with customers all day, which is, yeah, it's quite unusual. It's quite nice.
Yeah, usually it's Carl, isn't it?
Yeah, normally either Danny was in there or Carl's in there. Sean's in there at the minute. The shop's a funny one. If it's too busy, it's a nightmare. If it's too quiet, it's a nightmare. If it's steady and you've got just a nice sort of flow of people that are interested and you're picking fish. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can get too hectic and you can't spend the time with the customers that you want to, because you've got a queue of other customers that want dealing with. It's not so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So the Japan trip was for my own benefit more than anything.
Yeah.
Educational.
So on the educational side, what is it you learn, or what is it you was looking for?
Confirmation of how good I thought our fish were. Almost. That's shows when you look at your own fish all the time, you get rose tinted spectacles and you think, oh yeah, my fish are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But in reality, you then have to take a step back, go somewhere else, look at other fish and go, actually they're not that, or they are. So by able to looking at mine, fly to Japan, look at those, spend a week, then fly home, and it's all in your eye. You can really see the skin quality, the body shape, the overall quality of the fish, and think, well, yeah, those varieties are there, those varieties aren't quite there. The problem is we can't do all the varieties in enough numbers to have everything looking at the level I want.
Yeah.
The farm's just not big enough.
Yeah.
So, whereas some of the farms out in Japan will concentrate on 2 or 3 varieties and do them really well, because of our shop, I have to do them all.
Yeah.
That means I'll have a year where people go, oh, you're really good at doing Sankey and Showa, and another year where I'm going to Sankey Showa, I'm really good maybe at Shiros and Shishuis, or Asagis and Krashiko. I can't do all of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, each year we'll set a plan, we're missing this, this and this, we'll concentrate on them. As long as I've got good enough brood stock of those varieties. And it's harder than people think to be able to get a good Deutschkind Showa.
Yes. But
That's something, so you have to go out hunting them when they do, which is why I buy parent fish from Gary at Gatwick, who's got contacts, from Ryan, or from Matt at Gatwick Koi. Sometimes they'll have a fish, it's like, I can't, that's exactly what I want.
I like the colour of that. Don't like the car. The colour's nice. Sorry about that. So,
Yeah, so
you
you
were
can
saying,
do that.
you said you wanted to see what you was. So after going to Japan, what do you feel is lacking in, say, your Go Sankey?
Kahaku's probably the one variety that we've got Showas as good as anything in Japan, but not enough, such small numbers that they're not available
Yeah.
en masse. We've done Sankeys to a very high level in good numbers. Kahaku's are probably the one variety that should be quite simple, and perhaps not really. When you see how many farms out there do good Kahaku in good numbers, yeah, that's probably somewhere I've managed to do them good skin, good belly, good patterns, but not great bodies, or good bodies and poor patterns, or there's always one element that's missing. Like the Matsue and Momentera stuff we use, build, body, everything's good enough, but the patterns are shocking.
Yeah.
Then you put in perhaps a slightly prettier, smaller fish, and then you lose all the body volume and strength. So
Yeah.
getting that happy medium, and that's something we struggle with a bit, which is why we've got, again, a few new Kahaku parents to play with. I think it's 3 Dainichi parents, Sakai Company, 2 Maruyama. So I've got a pool to go with all our other stuff
Yeah.
to try and really nail that variety. The trouble is, they're difficult. We don't sell that many of them. So, like, Sean would be like, well, why are we putting so much money and effort into something we don't sell many of? Because if you want a good Kahaku, every Japanese outlet's got them.
Yeah.
But if you haven't got enough Kahaku in a pond of sales fish, not only do you sell some, but actually it lifts some of the other fish, that colour base.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the deep one variety that you go out there and you see a lot of good big Kahakus and you think, I've never bred one like that. And that's probably the one variety. Showas are hard, but we have got good Showas.
Yeah.
Sankey are hard, but we've got good Sankey. But there's a couple of decent big Kahakus, but they're not. Well, you got one, to be fair.
Yes.
You got one, didn't you?
Yes.
that's Jap. To me, that's Jap level, that fish.
Yes.
But it's not going to grow beyond 65 centimetres, and that's too small.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Well, to some it's not.
no. But we have some customers who want to grow fish big, some that want pretty fish, whatever. Ideally, they'd have the ability to be good and grow to a good size.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the Kahako is the one at the minute that's bugging me a little.
And what variety or varieties would you say that you're running on par with?
This
To a
season,
degree.
Arasagi, Shisui, Ginrin Krashigoi, Norman Krashigoi, Ginrin Chags, Yamatos, Medi Kikikuryu are all Kinshowa, Kinki Asuri, they're all as good as anything I saw out in Japan. They are as you would be buying if you were going out buying, so there's no difference. So yeah, gotta be happy. There's a dozen varieties that are Jap level.
Yes.
There's some varieties that are completely missing because we haven't spawned them this year, and some that aren't good enough just for whatever reason
Yeah.
being caught, you know. Yeah, it was quite nice, to be fair. That, yeah, it's just the numbers of good fish that the farms do. When you see them all concentrated up in a pond and there's 10,000 fish that are all of a good level, you realise how hard that is.
Yeah.
You know, their production is 10 times what ours is, and that's the difference. It's just 10 times the number of fry. So the grading's the same, everything else is the same. It's just they've got 10 times more, so they end up with that 10,000 fish of a certain level, where we end up with 1,000 fish at that level.
Yeah.
You can't. That's just one of those. I can't.
Yeah.
Struggling to produce. Obviously, the problem is when you try and overdo the numbers of fry in a pond, it goes tits up pretty quickly.
Yeah. And can
you go backwards.
Can be counterproductive.
Well, it's
as well.
yeah. The minute you go too many mouths, they split. Your numbers drop off. You don't get the good ones or whatever. So you have to be less is more.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you've got
The better opportunity.
Yeah, you got.
Better chance you've got of
So
getting.
more is more, but less is more, and it's a real fine line to deal with, because you know you've got too many fry from a particular spawning. You think, well, I can't throw. You know, I don't want to waste these. I'll put these into the pond, but you put too many into the pond, you can't ruin that spawning because you ain't getting the best results. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's self-discipline, self-control. It's the order of the day.
Which Rick hasn't got much of when it comes to good fish.
But the trouble is, you say with one of our big Sankey parents, you get it to spawn. I know I only need 10% of the eggs,
Yeah.
but you strip the eggs, and you can't help but strip more than you need because you've got it to spawn. Might be its only chance you're going to do that. Whatever, you take more than you need, or whatever, then you end up hatching more than you need.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to waste them. But yeah, if we were only doing one variety, well, we probably could just spread them around the whole farm, or whatever. But
Yeah.
if I've only got 2 ponds for that one parent set, and then in an ideal world, they'll take 10,000 fry each to be perfect. But I've still got 10,000 fry left in the hatchery.
Yeah.
It's hard to then just either give them away, sell them. It's just your natural instinct is to put an extra 5,000 in each pond,
Yeah.
but that doesn't work as well as it should.
Kicks you in the arse.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the problem is as soon as there's too many fish and the food in right or the water in right, you just ruin the batch.
Yeah.
You don't ruin that 5,000, you ruin the whole pond.
Yeah.
And that's it's gone off topic anyway. That's nothing to do with Japan, isn't it?
But was there a variety while you was out there that you saw at whatever farms you went to that made you think, I want to try that this year?
Yeah, the Benny Comomru and Calcamate were just out as well. Like, it's a variety we've done for on and off for years.
be honest, you'll see in the toast I tank when we go home, I got a couple of Benny Commander in there, and Benny's absolutely crap.
Yeah, they are. When you see good ones, and obviously having a chat with the breeder, like I've used his parents to produce them, and then he's like, well, we use a female Kahaku as our main Benny Commander parent.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've tried that and it's not been very successful. Obviously he's got a combination that works, because those fish were absolutely insane, to a level of just didn't even look real almost.
Yeah.
So obviously we brought some of them, but I think the same problem is if I grow some of them and use them as parents with what we've got, I still won't match those results. I think you've just got to get the right parent.
Yeah.
And obviously the offspring from those parents quite often don't make good parents in themselves. And that's something else we found with Aoki's Benny Kikakuru, that they're the best in the world.
Yeah.
But he's created them as a cross. So the parents he's using to create the offspring make the best offspring, but those offspring don't make good parents. And that's why we're using different combinations to try and get the best from. Obviously you still want to use the fish are amazing, you still want to use them as a parent, but you can't use them straight as you would want to normally.
Yeah.
You've got to say we use different males. We're getting now, I think we've improved every year for the last 3 years, and now they're on a par with a lot of his out there, and they're sought after fish. They're not as good as his top end ones, but they are certainly getting close.
And he was quite impressed with some of the fish that you were showing him that you had produced.
Yeah, I was showing him all the Yamato Nishikis that we do, and he's like, he's not as good as, they're as good as what he's doing on that, but he's like, they're the easy side of from the sport, because also they come from the same parent set, and they're the easier ones to do, as opposed to the Benny Kikos, which are the black base ones.
Yeah.
That, the Benny's unstable on them, you don't get it. They're just a bit of a pain. So they're almost a byproduct from that spawning, but they're actually some of the best fish we do.
Yeah.
Take it as it is, isn't it? It's one of those. So he was trying to. It's quite difficult. His English was pretty good, but he said a lot of Japanese breeders have brought his fish to use as parents, and they fail. They don't work. Like his combination works, but those don't make good parents. Marasaka is another one that does good ones, but they're completely different. The way he's created them is different, and the fish is different.
Yeah.
They make probably stronger, bigger, faster growing Benny Kikako, but they're not. They don't have the same Benny in the same suit. They're just different looking fish. So we'll keep playing.
Yep. Right, I'm going to have to pause there, but Susan's calling me. So, was there anything you saw out there in Japan that made you think, oh, I want to give that a try?
The problem is one of the best bits about doing the farming is obviously the spawning, the pond preparation for the fry and all that, and obviously you don't see any of that when you're out there. All I'm seeing is the end product of their season, as it were. So there's aspects I'd like to be out there, and I'd love to spend a year out there on a farm and see how they prepare their ponds and the nitty gritty side of it, the farming side of it, which obviously you don't see when you go to the facilities. All you're seeing is their display ponds and holding ponds,
but even some of their display ponds, like you said, it was like being back at the farm.
Yeah, the principles are exactly the same. It's just you just got to move the water over a filter, haven't you?
Yes.
It's simple, and most of their setups were exactly like ours. Just the most cost-effective use of space, and use everything you can where you can keep it covered and control it. So just the numbers of fish they hold are greater than us. But obviously the turnover of water, the pumps they use, and the turnover of water they use, and the way they heat stuff is a lot more effective or cost effective than than we can do it.
Yeah, because they're using 4-inch water pumps, aren't they?
Yeah, they use a different type of water pump. It just moves a lot of water, which is not a problem. You can do, that's just one aspect of it. But obviously the heating with the oil heaters or whatever, it's just something they've had for years. I think their infrastructure and the way they pay for their power and whatever is different.
Right.
Because the government out there loves the koi farmers, don't they? They're subsidised. It's like a heritage thing, a massive industry for Japan, and it's one of those unique, like the whiskey industry in Scotland. It's kind of unique to them, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they were talking. They used to get a lot of tax breaks, but I think that's changing now. But obviously, the farmers do alright out there, but they work hard. Most of them are 1 or 2 man bands. It's a family thing, and they are flat out year round.
Yeah.
So hats off to them. It's just the next generation's taking over. Some of them are implementing more social media and nicer showroom type facilities where you can ask more money for the fish because you get the demand for them.
Yeah.
It looks nicer, doesn't it? So, the whole industry out there, it hasn't changed much, but it is changing. And these things that we do take time.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of money. I dread to think of the amount of money some of those. Well, I mean, Sid's done it in India. He's set up an amazing facility.
Yep.
And he was telling us how much that costs, and you scratch your head because that's a tenth of what it would cost to do it in this country.
Yeah.
So he can sell the fish for a similar price and buy them for a similar price, and his facilities cost a tenth of the amount to create. Out there, the way they produce stuff as well, it's a lot cheaper to do in this country. To make a big setup like that is probably talking about £1 million investment just to make a great big showroom.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do that, you've got to then recoup that £1 million in fish sales, which is either got to be expensive or massive turnover.
Yeah.
And generally it will be expensive because that's just the way of the world, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So
was there anything on any of the farms that sort of like you thought I could implement that at the farm, as in types of filtration that they were using that you don't?
no, not really. I mean, the filtration was so similar to what we use, and it always comes down to the same thing: cost and space. How are you going to get the best out of something? I would like to build a facility to grow a handful of fish properly, 5-6-year-old fish,
Yeah.
80-90 centimetre fish, to really have some show. But we've got some, but they're all fish we've grown for broodstock, so they're only ever chosen, not necessarily because they're the absolute best fish, they're the fish that I want to continue the line with for whatever reason, be it body structure, skin quality. They're not fish that I've grown. I'd like to grow some on because they are textbookly the best fish, not as parents, but kind of show fish that you grow to a good size.
Yeah.
And just say, look, these fish are capable of getting to this size and looking like this, given a good environment. But to do that, the costs involved, and obviously we're never going to sell those fish. Top end fish in Japan, they're selling for 10 grand a pop. We ain't going to be selling fish for 10 grand a pop.
No.
It's still going to cost us more to produce those fish than it does out there, but we'll be selling for a lot less than they do out there. So it will purely be a egotistical thing. Is that right? If I did it, it will be because
You wanted
I wanted to do it, not
because
financially.
you needed to.
It will be a we can look what we can do. This is what they can be.
Yeah.
At the minute, the whole farm literally is just got to pay for itself, and everything we do has got to have a reason, a financial reason that works.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to get to a point where we can say, actually, we're going to use this whole polytunnel and this pond and this, and spend £3,000 a year running it and feeding it to grow fish that are basically display fish.
Yeah.
Or, look at us, we can do this, because that's kind of what you'd have to do.
Oh yeah, right, a shadow of a doubt.
So yeah, I mean, all the big fish that we've grown ourselves are all earmarked for parent fish, and they're not necessarily the prettiest good examples, but there'll be reasons that I've kept them, not because of how great the pattern is or everything else. It's because they've obviously got the best body out of the whole batch, or they've got the best skin or bones, whatever. That's what I want to continue. But
Yeah, because that
generally,
translates into the fry, doesn't it?
translates to the offspring, whereas the pattern does to a point. But you know, if I've got 10 fish that are all pretty good, the one that's got the best pattern is the one I'm going to sell to make the money, and the one that's got the best bone structure and skin, who's not got such a good pattern, will be the one I keep as a parent fish.
Yeah.
Because I can't sell it for as much as the other one, but it'll probably produce better offspring than the other one. So yeah, it's just the way it plays out.
That's keep trying to clean the lens, but that's how it pays out.
So yeah, one day we'll grow some big ones just for the sake of it.
But you say that you have got big ones. Look at some of the big crashes and that you've got.
Yeah, but they're fish again. They've been pulled up for parrot fish, not because they're the best example that I'd want to take to a show. They're just
Right.
for whatever reason, like the big Shiro. So the main offspring from the big Shiro is now as big as the big Shiro. So for a homegrown Shiro, 75 centimetre, it's pretty good, but it hasn't got it wasn't the best pattern-wise of the batch.
Yeah.
It's got the best structure, bone structure, body. It's probably got the best qualities. Just the pattern's not so clever. When they get to that size, the pattern starts to be a bit less important.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we haven't really got a growing facility for growing beyond sandside. Apart from the odd few we keep for parents. And that's
Yeah.
what we could do with somewhere to grow some 4, 5, 6-year-old fish. Just being grown because they're the best.
Well, we got that nice clean area now. We're in front of the Munger Tunnel. I have to twist Sean's arm nicely.
That's the thing. It needs at least a 20-ton pond. Monstrous fills. It's a big undertaking and a lot of money
Yeah.
for no financial gain really. Like I say, it's just got to be for the hell of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be something we could do. But yeah, I mean, the whole Japan thing is.
Are you glad you went?
Yeah, well, I love it. I mean, it's one of those. I love koi. I love everything about it. So
Yeah.
going there is brilliant. And yeah, you go to some farms and you just think, you know, the fact we walked into Dainichi and it was just like, oh man, I'm so far away. It's scary. But then you walk into most of the other farms and I'm like, I'm on my better stuff. I'm on a par with all this. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Dainichi, you can put that money into those big fish. Have a whole display of 80 centimetre fish. Yeah. And when you see those fish, it's like every single one of those fish is better than any fish I've ever produced on the farm. And you think, but that's not the true reality. Obviously, we produce fish like that, but we've never been able to grow them like that. So it's an environmental thing as well as a genetic thing.
So people that buy your Gosangi have got the potential to grow like that. Then it's just that you haven't got the facility to take it that
some
bit
people
further.
do. Some people don't do it really well with some of them because the genetics are there. But you've got to be able to put them into those ponds. And the thing is, because of how our business is, we attract people that haven't got heated ponds, that haven't got the biggest budgets. So it's like anything. If you bought 2 identical fish from Dainichi, you put one in an unheated pond and fed it a cheaper food in an overstocked environment, that fish isn't going to flourish.
No.
And if someone else brought its identical twin and put it in a heated 10,000 gallon pond, fed it sake, you know, give it every possible opportunity in life, it would flourish. The 2 fish would look so far apart after a few years.
Yeah.
Genetically, they're identical, but the environment conditions are poles apart.
Well, we saw that in last year's grant show.
Well, yeah, we'll see it. So, yeah, it's a combination of genetic. You can't can't have good fish without good genetics, but you can't have good fish without a good environment.
Yeah.
And they're as equally as important
As one another.
one another, yeah. And if you've got an environment that's not going to do the best out of fish, why spend £2,000 on a shower that's never going to flourish where it should do? Why not buy fish that are going to do well in that pond? And so
Yeah.
we feel a part of the market that we do, but we have got customers that can grow fish and can look after fish, and if they take the right fish, they're as good, if not better, than all the jackfish they got in their pond.
Yeah.
But that's just, but it's on an individual basis, isn't it? You've got to take the right fish to start with for it to blossom into a good example. So many layers to it. I'd love to just produce higher end fish, but the reality is that's not where the market is for the business.
I could vouch for that because I've lost count the amount of times Sean's come along and keep that, we'll keep that.
Yeah, but that's and it gets proven that, you know, as much as I say, oh no, let's just really cut the numbers down, get the quality up, and then we put them in the shop, and there'll be a couple of fish that perhaps shouldn't have been kept, so Sean will go, I'll keep them, they're a bit different. And the first customer walks in and will buy the fish that are a bit different.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, all these fish are much higher quality, but people like what they like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not all. It's like, as much as I'd love it to be about quality, it's not about quality. It's about variety, it's about mix, about variation, and understanding that customers want to love their fish and they like the look of something. Aragoki, I mean, they're the rage. 20 years ago when I went out there, anything Aragoki was just destroyed. They were just hated at in Japan. They were just the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
They still are to a point with a lot of people, but they've got a massive following. Butterfly Koi have got a massive following.
Gary even said earlier that he was thinking about getting some long fins, and I'm like, no, don't do it.
Should I come off on this one?
This one.
Yeah, so it's one of those. You've got to do what the customer, what you're going to sell. If you've got a batch of fish and they're all 100 quid, and the customers that walk in through your shop pick the Aragoki ones and the butterfly ones and the unusual ones, but don't pick the higher quality Gosanki, what's the point in spending more money producing those higher quality Gosanki that you're then not selling? From a business point of view, it doesn't necessarily work. That's part to do with the customers you get in, part to do with. I was amazed out in Japan the amount of people that were picking fish that were what we're class as average quality from varieties, because they're different. They're in a pond, and there's mostly Zanki, Showa, Kahaku, and there's the odd Orangiogon that's not particularly good. But people were picking them out, going, "Oh, that's different. Oh, look at that, you know, that ghosty." Well, so I'd call it ghosty, but could be whatever, whatever. And it's like, yeah, they were picking fish up because they look different amongst all those. They were being selected, and yet the quality of them they could buy from someone like us for a tenth of the price.
Yeah.
Because out there they look unusual and different. They were being selected. You know, that's again what you're used to seeing. If you're only used to seeing, you know, going to a Jap dealership and seeing 90% of the fish all Gosanki and Goshki and whatever, and then one day they've got a big, like I say, Aragoki, Harawaki that's actually not very good quality, but it stands out because it's completely different to everyone else, then there's a good chance that fish is going to sell.
Yeah.
Even though it's much lower quality for a much higher price, because it's different. We get it all the time with, you know, if I put one Shishui in a tank of Kahaku, everyone's going to want to buy the Shishui.
Yeah.
Put 100 Shishuis in a pond together, they're just, you can't sell the things. So, yeah.
Here we go. And to finish on that, don't forget, the shop is now open from 9 till 4.
Yeah, I don't
7 days a week. 9 till 4, 7 days a week. Get on down there. Absolutely cracking fish coming out. Go straight down. So, yeah. See you later.
I think you could get that down to 10.
Yeah.
Those both.
Chushisui.
Chushisui. Goshki. 3, 4. Just weird Paragoki.
Yep, I know which one you mean.
Yellow ear. Gimrin. So
Yep.
7. Bigger.
Yeah.
8. Chad down the bottom, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could probably get to the 10 best in there.
And then,
really just try and push them on up to 30 centimetres
yeah.
and then get them straight across wherever they're going.
But
I
it's,
do. I think they're the. There's one or two of this orangey, Aragoki orangey things
yeah, it's quite pretty, isn't it?
that might compete. If you drop the numbers down, you might find it sort of competes.
Yeah. So like the Sakura Ogon, the Kikasui and stuff like that.
Sweet. Get them out and get some colour on them.
Yeah.
It's a smaller Gimrin Hanashisui there, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
Proper nice metallic zip.
So
I
12
reckon-
then.
Well, yeah, 10 to 12 fish. It's got to be hard as.
Yeah.
Because at the minute, looking in there, those 10 or 12 fish you're eating 90% of your food anyway.
Right.
Aren't they? You can just see the size of them. They're getting the bulk of the grub. But obviously they're competing hormonally with all these other bits in there. And they're, yeah, the best dozen fish are really, they're going to cost you the best part of 100 quid each if you want to buy them, aren't you?
Yeah.
So push them up to a size where they can go out and then colour up. Yeah.
Go on. I ask you when we do selecting it in the farm and stuff, which one for you is the best fish in the pond?
Probably the chag that keeps disappearing.
Are you, the darker one?
The darker Aragoki one. Don't get where it keeps disappearing to.
The one that's more chagoy
Yeah.
colour.
I'm sure I need to check his face a bit. The Crashy could then, to be fair, the Kiyotsuru's quite nice. Just that one there as well. We've got 4 in there that are, you need to have in a bowl
Yeah.
and do a proper look at peg shape, face shape. Just from looking at it now, probably go that Gimrin Ochiba. It's probably your best, because when
Yeah.
that goes out, that brown's going to come up so much stronger.
And it's got beautiful
It's got
gin
nice
on it.
shape, lovely gin. This chag, I'm not sure the way it looks a bit pointed in the nose. He's swimming quite angled as well, isn't he? We'll watch him feed to make sure he's. It's not going to come up and feed, look.
Yeah, he's swimming with an attitude, isn't he?
Yeah, I do think this is probably the number one fish in there, isn't it?
Yeah. And that Ginrin Achiba is a year younger than the Ginrin Goshki.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, that's where it should be, isn't it? Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's going to make you got a bit of shine to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can keep that shimmy free and get it to 60 cm, it'll look mental.
Looks a lot different in here since you was last in here, doesn't it?
Loads more space.
There is actually, believe it or not, more space now than I had when I had the Easy Pods in here running.
Wow.
I've got to take my perspex out again. I've got them 4 to put in there, and then that's that lot complete. I've got to start making them.
Complete set.
I've got to make some more shelves.
Yeah, to sell the complete set. £10,000 going on eBay.
It's been an absolutely awesome day, and that's the lesser spotted one just left. Oh, what a day. And if you've not been to Gatwick Koi, get across to Gatwick Koi. Tell Gary the Twisted One sent you. It'll tickle him pink. And on that, Gary also has a YouTube channel, Gatwick Koi. So get across, give him some twisted love, and do the usual. As for me, I've got to try and get this pump sorted and up and running, so I can start shifting some fish round. Because as you've seen, I'm going to have to move some around in the going on tank. So until I see you tomorrow on the live other Twisted Koi, you lot out there, you know you're great. And like I said, I'll see you tomorrow at 2.
That's all, cupcakes.
Yes, makes it all worth it.